Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. Good Monday morning, beautiful Monday morning. Good morning, Josh. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Josh, let's start the show. I got a couple hats. I wanted to bring my hats out today. I got a couple hats. I just thought I would bring them out. Um, we'll talk about them. I don't know if you can see them, Josh. Can they see the hats? How well can they see the hats? Can they see what's on the front of the hat here? Just send me a quick message. Josh, let's show everybody how you can contact the show. Let's start this Monday morning. There you go, right there, 706-889-9700. You can text the show at any time, email me, and all the social media ways. You can follow the show. Josh, I refuse. Now, I study the media, so I got up Sunday and yesterday, and I watched all four of the corporate, let me see how I do this, hashtag deep state corporate corrupt media. Okay, I watched all four. Face the Nation, Chuck Todd, Meet the Press, Dana Perino sitting in for Chris Wallace, and ABC, Martha Raddatz, that hard-hitting reporter on This Week with George Stephanopoulos. I watched all of those, and, I do that, study that. And I did get up at 4 a.m. this morning. I got up at 4 a.m. I watched CNN. I know that bothers you when I say that. I watched CNN. I watched MSNBC. But I refuse to start this morning's show on a negative note. Refuse to. I mean, no matter what news network, including Fox, okay, you turn on this morning, the negativity, refuse to do it. So, Josh, let's play the video I told you we were going to start the show with, and let's do that first before we get going.
There you go.
That one's there.
Right down the middle, and a strikeout for Maddie Frecking. And the first pitcher to win a game. That was the history of the girls at the Little League World Series. But that one looked like a foul ball off a foot. Yeah. But Maddie Frecking is off the mound to make the play. Terrific high five.
Maddie Frecking, way to go. Okay, Little League World Series, right? Little League World Series. Maddie Frecking is from Des Moines, let's see, Little League World Series. Let's see, where is she from? Minnesota, that's right. Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Maddie Frecking delivers during the third inning of a baseball game against South Riding, Virginia. So I wanted to start on a positive note. Way to go, Maddie. Little League World Series. Now, I'm wondering when the media will start asking for equal pay for Maddie, and they will start analyzing if she's getting the same amount of media coverage as the boys and so forth, because they can always ruin a good thing, correct? So wanted to start out there with Maddie this morning and say congratulations. Just an outstanding ball player. Little League World Series, can't beat it. All right, so now let's get to recession fears. Now, the inverted, right? Most of America probably has no idea what an inverted yield curve is, okay? And this past weekend, when I come on and I start talking about the stock market, and I start, and let's see, I don't want to say ugly things about people, but I may. Josh, give me number 24, if you're ready there, number 24. Every time I think I probably should not talk about the stock market and inverted yield curve for the 2-year bond and the 10-year bond, and I say, you know what, I might not understand this. Then I see people like Jake Tapper on CNN. He's a bumbling idiot, okay, with Pete Navarro. Now, we don't have time on the show to go into depth on Pete Navarro and his background. But here's Jake Tapper of CNN. And this is where I realized yesterday, you know what, I'm going to come on and I'm going to talk about this upcoming recession. I mean, it's like the movie Coming Soon. They're playing the trailer for it. I'm serious. We're going to go through that. All four of the Sunday morning shows, all four, okay, opened up with recession fears. All right. Well, you know, we had a inverted yield curve for about 2 hours on Wednesday. And I say that I'm not exactly sure, but to start trending or tracking whether there's a recession coming, the 2-year and the 10-year bond, this has to be over a period of time, okay? Not just a couple hours on Wednesday when so many Americans that trade on the stock market and bigger stock brokers or whatever they're called today, they have algorithms set. And if things start selling down, they automatically, their algorithm starts selling down. And that's how you have these rapid decreases in the stock market and rapid increases on the same day. You'll have an 800-point drop, 600-point drop, 400-point drop, and everybody gets all worked up. But then the next day or the next week, you have a 300-point to the plus or a 400-point algorithm, and most people do not study that. I do not myself, but I thought I would look at it a little closer, considering the media wants you to believe that we are headed into a recession rapidly. All four networks yesterday, the Did You Survive Recession Sunday, they're doing it this morning, first thing out of the box. So yesterday I'm out here and I'm studying and looking at different things for the show this morning, and I go into the living room and I sit down and the TV is tuned into Fox. It's probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and Fox is running as much coverage as they can of the looming possible recession. Okay. We're going to play Pete Navarro and Jake. I realized yesterday when I started, these newsroom bumblers, that's a good one. Newsroom bumblers. They have no more clue than I do on how a recession happens, what takes place. So I thought, you know what, if Jake Tapper could talk about a recession and act like he knows what he's doing, I'm going to do the same thing. Second, gun legislation, background checks. So in Morristown, Pennsylvania yesterday, the president is leaving his New Jersey Bedminster estate, and the most transparent president. I mean, this guy, when he goes to Marine Force One, let's go there, Josh, as we get a good start this morning. We're going to bounce around and then we're going to settle in. Where's the president? Let's just go with number 38 this morning, number 38. 38, again, yesterday at Morristown, New Jersey Airport, he's getting ready to board Marine Force One. Reporter, for the government not to be doing something to get ready for that scenario. I mean, they were asking him, what are you getting ready for? I mean, are you not getting ready for the recession? Tariffs. So I also think, you know, every time I try to explain tariffs, maybe I don't have the educational pedigree to discuss tariffs, but I do understand every time President Trump, okay, Pete Navarro, all right, and the economic team the president has talks about tariffs, and he says the Chinese are paying, okay, paying the bill. You know, these newscasters, I shouldn't have called them that. Let me back up. They're not newscasters. Again, that day is gone. These propaganda machines, deep state corrupt corporate media, propaganda machines, okay, start yelling, well, that's not true. The Chinese do not pay the tariffs. Let me tell you something. I'm going to talk a little bit in detail on that, but they do. They devalue their currency. If we have a tariff on Chinese goods coming into the country, okay, coming into the country, all right, if we have a 10% tariff, China they lower their prices, devalue their currency 12%, and by time the tariff's paid and it gets to the shelf, you're not seeing any different. China is losing millions of jobs. Their economy is shrinking. Yes, their GDP is shrinking. They're in fear that Americans will go to the store and see their product at a higher price in Made in America. Wow. And what would happen there? It's the bottom line. I'll go into detail, but they are paying the tariffs. Now on exports, are there export tariffs that are, putting a pinch on the farmer? We'll call it that. All right. But I'm going to tell you, for the most part, most of the American people understand we have to do something with China. And if there's a little pain, no gain. They understand Trump is the first one to actually put pressure on China. Now, yesterday, and Josh, I'm jumping around already because I listened to the 36 minutes. I watched the entire 36 minutes of the president's press conference. And he talks about, is it Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple? And let me get that. I think let's just go with China. Let's just go with the China pick there. Number 50, Josh. I think that's number 50, okay? White House downplays risk of a recession. This is CNN this morning. Navarro, okay, says feds need to cut interest rate. Is it 7 or 9 times that the Fed has raised rates? I mean, real simple. I tell you every day, I've got 2 hours here. You guys are the greatest audience in the world. You got to go do your research, okay? Look at how many times the Feds raised the rate for Barack Hussein Obama. I don't think they did. We even had rates in the negative. We had QE1, QE2, quantitative easing. I mean, cash literally was pouring out what they called the discount window. Remember that big discount window in the Obama administration for lenders at the Fed with a discount window. QE1, QE2, QE3, negative interest rates. Trump's economy, the president of the United States, our economy, since the president took his oath of office, has grown with a positive GDP. So on your research today, look at how many times Obama administration had a rate hike from the Feds. Look at the quantitative easing from the Feds. Look at the discount window on cash from the Feds during that 8 years. Then flip to President Donald Trump. Look at how many times the Feds have raised the interest rate on the president, okay? Tighten the flow of cash, and you don't hear the discount window quite as often as you used to, because also while you're doing the research, I'm going off the rails, Josh. This is not where I was going. But once you're doing your research, look at how many quarters during the Obama administration that we had a GDP, a positive GDP, okay? So the president gets up, 2.1, 2.8, 3.1. GDP is climbing under President Trump. So what's the Federal Reserve do? They keep tightening things up with the money and the discount window, as we call it. They tightened up the QE, quantitative easing. That's what they did. And then they have had 7 to 9, I don't know, you can look it up, it's right there, 7 to 9 interest rate hikes, claiming they want to cool down the economy. They want to head off inflation, right? I think myself we could be at a 3.8, 4-point GDP. And then what are they talking about? This global, you've heard about our global economy. I understand. I do understand that we're in a global economy. I understand our businesses have to operate worldwide. I understand it's advantageous for our businesses to go into other countries and set up shop. I get it, all right? But the global economy now, and this weekend we'll play the tape. We'll roll tape. But this weekend, this Jake Tapper, well, there's 7 to 9 world economies that are either in recession or headed that way. Okay. I get it. All right. We're in a world economy. The other thing I want to say, and I'm going to take a brief break. I'm going to regroup because we're going to start. Oh my God. Gun background checks. Really? Gun background checks. Well, let me say this. Fortunately, for you and I out here this morning, there's so much we have to go over. But fortunately for you and I this morning, they got CNN. Let's run with this, okay? CNN. Authorities stopped potentially 3 mass murders. So CNN they found 3 white guys. All right, white guys. They never find anybody else. They never find the gang-related murderers in Chicago. You hear about the murders, but you don't hear about the arrests. If our intelligence can go through social media and pick out potential shooters, why the hell can they not pick out potential shooters in Chicago, potential murderers in Boston? They don't seem to, but they found 3 white guys. So let's go to number 48. Oh my God, Josh, I'm going off the rails. This is not I did not have the intention here, but CNN has found 3 white guys that they want to show you. So number 48, as you can see here, Ohio white supremacists threatened to shoot up a Jewish community center. So they found this guy. So thank God. And now this guy here, okay, this is one I like. All right, let's go to 47, number 47. You ready? 47. You there, Josh? Florida man arrested for threatening mass shooting. His text said he wanted to break record for longest confirmed kill. Now, my understanding, you can check it out, he doesn't own any weapons. The text was to his girlfriend. Now, I'm not telling you it's okay to text that you want to do a mass shooting. I'm not saying that in any way whatsoever or advocating that this guy should be okay with doing that. But he texted his girlfriend. His girlfriend turned him in. Oh, hell, boy, that's going to be rough if we get those red flag laws and people get concerned and they turn you in. This guy does not own a weapon. Come to find out, you do the research. He doesn't own a weapon. He sent a text to his girlfriend. She got concerned, sent it in. Now we have this guy, okay? And this guy, I don't, Florida man arrested for threatening mass murder. This is number 46, okay? Now the byline on this, I didn't get the right picture, Josh, but I got another one. The byline on this guy is, he was ordering gun parts on the internet. Ordering gun parts on the internet. So fortunately, we can identify, and what CNN is doing, oh my God, I can't stand. When Trump says they're enemy of the people, they are, folks. I mean, journalism is not an enemy of the people. This is not journalism. They're enemy. You see these 3 guys? You know what they're trying to sell you? That red flag laws would work. Just saying. So Trump is talking mental health. Let me have one more. There's a couple more things we're going to talk about today. Okay, we get back. Number 22. Abrams to fight. 22. Abrams to fight voter suppression in 2020 election. So Stacey Abrams was so successful in not conceding the race against Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia, but she was so successful in fighting voter suppression. Yeah, that's what they feel, that she obstructed, all right, confirming the governor's race in Georgia with Brian Kemp for a couple, was it a month or whatever it was, before they could certify that race, because she was running through court and she had all these bogus lies. So America, wherever you may be watching, she's taking her voter suppression lies on the road and going national. They were lies. Brian Kemp did not, as Secretary of State, suppress the vote in Georgia. All right. And then again, this weekend, President Trump says national voter ID. So we're going to talk about that. Wow, we got a lot, Josh. One more, okay? Why? And we'll take our break. One more. Why? Number 11, Josh. Number 11. Why did Ilhan Omar, sorry, I get that, Delaware representative, women of color, congresswomen of color, why did they not? I'm going somewhere with this. Oh, Representative Rashida Tlaib of Michigan. Remember, Rashida cried, and Trump blocked her, and Netanyahu blocked her from visiting Israel, and she cried, her 92-year-old grandmother. So Israel says, all right, I'm, right or wrong here. Israel says, okay, here's what we're going to do. Their State Department or whatever it is says, you know what? We're going to give you a humanitarian visa to come in, right? Come in and visit your grandmother. But she bailed on that. Why did she bail on the opportunity to go see grandma? Why didn't she fly in, go out to the West Bank, meet with a couple Palestinians, take a picture with grandma, come back, and then tell the American people, all I wanted to do was visit my grandmother. That is it. And they didn't let me. But she backed out of that trip. Why? Maybe the two of them, okay, maybe the two of them wanted to cause problems in Israel, wanted to spark Palestinian uprise and protest against Israel. So when they left, the Palestinians would be lobbing those little missiles in at Israeli schools, maybe killing some children in school. Yes, exactly. Don't believe the lie that the president kept them out, because let me get this. We'll take just a minute. I'll find it here. It won't be long. I know I brought this article up just a minute ago. This is from the Jerusalem Post. Okay, we don't want to go to CNN, MSNBC. We're going to go to the Jerusalem Post this morning, and I read this article earlier. But are you aware the largest delegation? All right, where I have it, this is the other one I wanted to get to. Where is my Jerusalem Post article? The one I'm looking for. There it is. Here's from the Jerusalem Post. Let's see. I want to check, make sure I have this right. Yes, it happens to be August 12th, 2019. So today is August 19th. Just checking. I like to get it. Don't want to make sure this is not an older article from the Jerusalem Post. Largest ever congressional delegation visits Israel and show of bipartisan support. Oh, no. Media has left that out. Josh, I want to make sure that gets up there, just like I'm saying it this morning. The media left that out. All they've done is talk about the two congressmen of color that President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, because he's got an election coming up, stop them from coming in. Concurrent trips by 41 Democrats and 31 Republicans come among increasing calls for Democrat Party's progressive wing to call into question America's relationship with Israel. Largest ever congressional delegation. Now, why did Rashid Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, why did they not go and make it 43 Democrats instead of 41? This is an August article. Why not? Just weeks ago, why didn't they not? I'll tell you why. Because then they would have had to, if you divide the press coverage among 30, 40, 72 representatives, and you make it 73, they would not have gotten the spotlight, the press conference coverage. Maybe Nancy Pelosi would have told them to stay in line. Maybe Speaker Pelosi would have said, no, you're not going down to the West Bank and try to incite riots with Palestinians while we're here. We're not here for that. Because they did not want to go for bipartisan support. They wanted to go so they could get clear media themselves, and they could go over there and see what they could disrupt. Israel has a law against that, and that's all they did was enforce the law. A lot of directions I didn't mean to go in, Josh, but I did. There we are. We're going to come back. We're going to get into some video as soon as I get back, because I think if Jake Tapper could talk about the inverted yield curve, I can too. Josh, take us a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Okay, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. Josh, let's tell everybody how we can get in touch. They can get in touch with the show. All right, there you go. That's our phone number, email address, and the social media ways. Let me look really quick here, Josh. I want to get my hats. This one says, Vote Trump 2020, Perfect Vision. Okay. If you can't see them at home, I'm going to go. And this one says, Vote Trump, Mobs or Jobs. Which one do you want? Vote Trump. And this one says, Mega, Make America Great Again, Drain the Swamp. And then I have these three. Thank you, Steve. I'll give a shout out to Steve. These three hats. Thank you very much, Steve. Okay. This one, 2020 Trump, Keep America Great. Okay, this one belongs to my dad. He doesn't know it's missing, so don't tell him, okay? This one, I want to thank Jason for this hat, my U.S. Border Patrol hat. Jason, thank you very much. And then last but not least, Keep America Great 2020, and it says Donald Trump on the back 2020. I want to thank the Cub fan Rick for that one. So I've got some others. You want to send me a hat? I'll put them up here. I will put them up here. You know, did you ever think you would be in a situation where you had to fear, okay, wearing a hat somewhere that someone may attack you? Okay, I mean, you know, they want you to believe, and let me check an email this morning. Okay, they want you to believe that America traded in their beer drinkers make better lovers hat, makes a better lover hat for a Trump hat. That's the kind of people that will vote Trump. We now have Trump. If you vote for Trump, everything out there, you're a racist. And this is in the media, the corporate, hashtag corporate corrupt deep state corporate corrupt media. I say it all the way, but you know what I'm talking about. And anyhow, so they want you to believe that if they say if you vote for Trump, you're a racist, everything. Okay. So let me run through a couple pictures here from yesterday. Okay. Now, yesterday I watched all of the shows and it was Recession Sunday and now it's Recession Monday. And as you go to work this morning, I know you're thinking you've got to get little Bobby, Johnny, Jill, Jennifer to soccer practice, football practice, maybe music lessons, whatever this afternoon. But your biggest fear is the coming recession. Will you have a job? Will the economy crash? And how can you get through your day knowing for a couple hours last Wednesday, the 2-year bond and 10-year bond went into what's called the inverted yield curve. Inverted yield curve. So let's just go through this. This was Sunday. You know, I study the media. I watch these people to see. Let's go with number one, Fox News Sunday. All right, number one, Fox News Sunday right there. Dana Perino filled in for Chris Wallace, the Democrat. And there you go. And it's Wall Street. And the first thing out of their mouth was recession fears hit Wall Street. Okay. Then we go to number two. Fox lets you know, this is number two, that retail sales are up 3.4%. Yes, retail sales. But number three, consumer confidence is down 6.4%. Why, although you went into the store and you spent the money that you're making at the job you have, and retail sales is up. Let's see. How could retail sales be up if tariffs are taking such a toll on the American shopper that it is crashing and hurting, and you, the American people, are paying for it because the news wants you to believe that in an everyday scenario? Why is retail sales up? I don't know, because I would think with all the tariff talk and the media saying that Trump is lying about who's paying the tariffs, because he keeps saying China's paying the tariffs, but consumer confidence is down. All right, number four, we're going to run through these and then we're going to play some video. Fox News Sunday. Is the White House worried about a possible recession? Economic concerns. Now, these are the bylines they're running. And let me tell you why they're running the bylines. Because of the global economy and because of China. Now, China is doing everything they can to crash our economy because the tariffs are working. The Chinese government, they're losing millions of jobs. Their GDP is down. They're in a mess, right? Other global markets, the EU, Germany, they're down. The American economy is strong, and it's almost like, well, if we're going to go down, we're going to pull you with it. Now, my opinion is, and we'll pass that up, is the recession. I don't know that we will go into recession, but the media is determined to let you feel for now and 17 more months that the recession is well on its way. Okay. Now, what happens if no recession? What happens if President Trump was illegally his campaign surveilled and had a legally surveilled? What happened if Russia did not affect the outcome of the election and Trump did not collude with the Russians? What happens? The list goes on of what happens if that the media has a swing and a miss and hasn't hit the ball anywhere out of the infield. Yeah, they're waiting for a home. They can't even get it out of the infield. Let me correct that. That's better. They can't get it out of the infield, let alone the outfield. Okay. So this is the narrative. Let's continue to go on. And then number 8, Face the Nation. This is Joe Manchin. And the reason I bring this one up is they were pushing Joe Manchin to say that we were going into a recession. And this guy you want to keep an eye on because he's a Democrat from West Virginia. He's the former governor from West Virginia. He is now the U.S. Senator from West Virginia. And there's a lot of speculation after Labor Day he will announce he's getting out of the swamp totally and going back to being governor of West Virginia if the people will have him. All right. Here we go. Number 9. This is Peter Navarro on Face the Nation. Okay. Number 9, White House Office of Trade and Manufacturing Policy Director Peter Navarro. Now, we're going to play a video in a minute where Peter Navarro talks to Jake Tapper. And actually, yesterday, I'm listening to all this economic news, as they want to call it, not me. And I'm thinking, can I really bring this to the audience? I mean, I understand the economy, but this inverted yield curve and tariffs and everything. And then I thought, wow, if Jake Tapper can pretend and these other bozos can pretend they know something about the economy, I not only won't pretend, I know something. So there you go. We'll go with that. There's Peter Navarro on Face the Nation. And then we've got Meet the Press. Let's go to number 12. Okay. Meet the Press there with Chuck Todd. Economic Jitters, number 12. Recession Fears. It was Recession Sunday, man. I mean, you know, you like to go to church on Sunday. Some of you do. And it'd take the fam out to Sunday dinner. And once you had the Sunday dinner, come home and enjoy a quiet afternoon. But the sky was falling yesterday. It's always falling. It's just like Larry Kudlow said, and I forget who he said it to. Maybe he said it to Jake Tapper. Maybe he said it to, Chuck Todd. You know, Chuck, there's nothing wrong with being optimistic, okay? And I'll say this, you know, CNN, I watched this morning, and CNN and MSNBC at 5 o'clock, MSNBC, CNN at 4 a.m., about 9 consecutive minutes, 9, trashing the President of the United States. Trashing, not a kind word. And that should be top of the hour news, like Antifa in Portland. Top of the hour news. No. Like protesters in Hong Kong. No, 9 minutes. So let's go to, let me get another one here. Let's get another one. Number 17. All right. 17, market stumbles as recession concerns grow. It's on ABC. There's Pete Navarro again. ABC Meet the this week with Martha Raddatz. It's a byline all for CNN. I do not watch Jake Tapper. I will watch interviews, but I will not watch CNN on Sunday morning. It's all I could do to watch these 3 shows. Let me go up here to number 18. I might need my glasses for here. The Navarro Recession 2. Okay. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Trump Federal Reserve should cut interest rates this week. Mr. Navarro and President Trump spent Wednesday blaming the Federal Reserve for the market meltdown. Last Wednesday, the market did drop 800 points. I do not know what the futures are opening this morning. It did. And the curve for a couple of hours, I think, the 2 and 10-year bond, that curve, inverted yield curve, like on Wednesday for a couple hours, we're going to hear that in the interview, sparked recession 2020. Hashtag recession 2020. That's what we should do, right? Mr. Navarro and President Trump spent Wednesday blaming the Federal Reserve for market meltdown, and we suppose any scapegoat will do in a storm. We've been warning for 2 years that trade wars have economic consequences, but the wizards of protectionism told Mr. Trump not to worry. The key to avoiding the worst is to restore a sense of policy calm and confidence. Now, trade wars. Let me say this, okay? The president met with Apple CEO Tim Cook. You and I know, okay, we have to do something with China. You and I know that. All right? We know. We did not ask, and let me be clear, Tim Cook at Apple, okay, and anyone else. We did not ask you here in America to set your sights on China. We did not. We didn't. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, says to the President of the United States, well, you know, these tariffs are hurting because our big competitor is Samsung. And Samsung is located in South Korea. And South Korea does not have tariffs on Samsung coming into this country. We don't have it. So Apple for Apple, right? Apple for Samsung, it's not an equal playing field with the tariffs from China. You know what, Apple? When you were reaping the money, ripping off the American people, when you were launching your new iPhone, and the media was drooling because lines were around 4 city blocks, why people slept outside for the introduction of the new Apple iWhatever and iWhatever, and you just could not stop counting the money. Count the money. I don't remember you saying anything about our corrupt politicians creating laws, tax code that invited you to leave and go to China. I don't remember you saying that. I don't remember while Apple CEO Tim Cook, another time I was not intended to go that way. But I don't remember at this time Steve Jobs, okay? I don't remember anybody at Apple going to the White House and saying to Barack Hussein Obama, hey, you know what? You remember those economic summits? What's his name from GE and all those great economic summits that Larry Davis or whoever, Obama, they were having to try to re-stimulate the economy, Microsoft, all the above. Do you remember it coming out that Steve Jobs or Tim Cook said, hey, if you guys, and let's see, 2012, let's just go, 2008, 9, let's go 2010. Let's grab 2010 and let's go there for, do you remember in 2010, Apple saying, you know what, President Obama, if you would change the corporate tax rates, if you would do a one-time repatriate offshore money, if you would do this, this, and this, what we could do is bring our factory home from China in 2010, plop it in the Midwest, put 100,000 people, 50,000 people, 20,000 to work, whatever, and that could help stimulate the economy with the cash infusion. The tax rate, the corporate tax rate, would allow us to grow, and we can manufacture the iPhone right here in America. Google that and see if that happened, because it did not. But Tim Cook now at Apple, because there's companies, they went, what is this company? Yahweh? Damn it, I was not going there. But this company, Yahweh or whatever, guess what? They're China. Guess what? They stole all your intellectual property. Guess what? They're producing an iPhone, mock iPhone that is selling worldwide, and your sales are down, your profits are down, you're upset. So you go to the president and say, yes, these tariffs are hurting. We did not ask you to go to China. We asked you to be a patriotic American company years ago and maybe go to your elected officials and say, hey, if you'll change this, this, and this, we can grow our product, grow it here in the United States. But no, you continue to support the Democrat corrupt, okay, all of the Republican and Democrat corrupt politicians that set tax rates, set laws, that invited you. We invited you to leave. You enjoyed it. And then what did we have? We had lines around the block and the media was just drooling. Top story, Apple released this and my God, sales were through the roof from China. Sorry. Samsung is coming in. Sorry. Yahweh stole your intellectual property. Sorry. Quit crying over the tariffs. It was okay when you were winning. Now be an American company. All right, so Navarro recession. I'm so tired of that. Here it is in full screen, number 19. Okay, they put it up in full screen. Say that 3 times fast. Signs of the recession. ABC yesterday. So let me stay focused on that. Okay, now number 24, Pete Navarro and Jake Tapper. Now let me show you Monday. And when I get Monday, that's when we're going to a video, okay? This is Monday morning. All right. So CNN, 432, number 30, White House. So they're taking the narrative right into Monday morning. It's Recession Monday. White House advisor downplays effects of tariffs. Effects. I'm going to give you the box of crayon scenario. Peter Navarro says tariffs aren't hurting anyone in the United States. Oh my God. Retail sales is up. Why? If the tariffs of goods coming into the country from China is hurting, okay, are we buying things off the shelf that say made in the USA? Wow, could that be happening? Seriously. And the president did not admit to tariffs hurting the American consumer. He just said Christmas, okay? Because let me tell you something. What does Rush call them? The Chi-Coms? The Chi-Coms do not wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. They do not, okay? The Chi-Coms, as Rush says, does not care. They don't give a rat about Jesus and the cross and the resurrection and being born and your sins. The Chi-Coms do not care. They're not allowed, them little Chi-Coms marching around over there. They're not allowed to know Jesus as their personal Savior. I'm not preaching. I'm just saying we are supposed to be celebrating Christmas as the birth of our Lord and Savior. I'll leave it at that in my preaching, okay? Chi-Coms don't care. They don't care to crash your Christmas tree. You got it? They don't. They don't care if your Christmas lights come on. They don't. So Trump, President Donald J. Trump, did something the other day with holding off tariffs for the American people to make sure the Chi-Coms don't pull a fast one and try to ruin Christmas for you. He didn't admit to anything. Why don't they ever tell the damn truth about something, right? So White House downplays effects. Let me get some more. I'm going to get all the recession, and then we're going to go to video because, buddy, they are running the narrative. We are in a recession, okay? I don't even know why you got up and went to work. I don't. And I don't know why you didn't go pull all, I'm being facetious, why you didn't go pull all your money out of the bank with this whole inverted yield curve. I mean, for 2 hours Wednesday. Number 31, Josh, White House pushes back against recession fears. This is MSNBC at 3 a.m. this morning, meaning right out of the box this morning. Okay. Number 32, I'll just give you the bylines, okay? Trump aides downplay fears of possible recession. And number 33, I don't see number 33, 5:01 a.m. Eastern. Right out of the box. This is their top story. Absolutely top story. Reporter that no president is immune from a recession, and that is malpractice. What are you doing? They asked him in Morristown yesterday. I don't see a recession. This reporter drew a conclusion. Why the hell do I use reporter when I say this? But this alleged murderers, alleged this, alleged that. This alleged reporter, okay, first they're asking, what are you doing to prepare? I mean, are you guys in the room? Are you in the war room? Have you gone downstairs? Have you gotten the generals together? Who do you have together, man? What is going on? We need to know this recession is looming. We're not doing anything. There's no recession. What are we preparing for? Oh, my God. Presidents are not immune for a recession. And that is malpractice. You're guilty of malpractice. He's guilty of every damn thing under the sun. Now it's malpractice. Okay. Number 34, we'll run this. I think I showed it earlier. We'll just do it again. I don't see a recession. But a lot of economists say that you should be preparing for the recession. I think I got this backwards. Here's what this guy says. But a lot of economists say that you should be preparing for, what are you doing? Go back to 33. Trump says, I didn't do anything. I'm not doing anything. We'll play that tape. That no president is immune from a recession. It's malpractice, I tell you, for you just to stand there and say I'm not doing anything. Number 36, the New York Times. Number 36, MSNBC again this morning, the New York Times. In economic warning signals, Trump sees sign of conspiracy. I see it. I mean, all of a sudden, there is an 800-point drop on Wednesday, which prepares the news cycle for a recession to run all the way through. They keep getting these 8 and 9 day news cycles, sometimes short, sometimes longer, to try to crash this president. I mean, you would think somebody would still be concerned about the kids in cages on the border, but no, we're not concerned. We're not concerned or looking into if anybody else, any other kids died on the border. No, that crisis is done. It's recession. He has said forces that do not want him to win have been overstating the damage his trade war has caused, according to the people who have spoken with him and several aides. They always have these inside sources, and several aides agree with him that the news media is overplaying the economic fears, adding to his feeling of being justified, people close to the president said. Okay, here's another one, number 37. All right, MSNBC, AP, the Associated Press, signs of recession worry Trump ahead of 2020. This is from Jonathan Lemire. Always got to trust Jonathan Lemire, right? He's always on MSNBC. Trump advisors fear a weakening economy would hurt him with moderate Republicans and independent voters who have been willing to give him a pass on some of his incendiary policies and rhetoric. Now, I told you last week, all right, I'm not agreeing with this, but what did I tell you last week? Gun legislation, background checks, red flag laws would separate some of his base. Absolutely. It will separate some of his base. It'll be an end all. I mean, you know, rednecks will be deep frying the turkey in November and not going to vote for the president if he does something like that. I do not disrespect my redneck. That would be me deep frying the damn turkey. So don't say I went after Trump voters. Okay, look at my damn hats. What do you think? What I'm saying is, I told you last week, if you watch this show, you will remember. What did I say? I said gun legislation, one more time, would separate some, 1%, 2 or 3, 4. We don't know yet. of the president's base. Stay at home, pop open a Pabst Blue Ribbon, deep fry a turkey. I ain't going and voting for the guy because you know what? He put he messed with my gun, my Second Amendment. Not making fun, just telling you the truth. You got to deal with the truth. I told you that was one narrative, one avenue they were going down, and they're not going to stop. Second, what I tell you on this show last week, I told you last week on this show that a weak economy could separate him from independents and moderates, right? I told you that. Now, I'm bragging. I just put it right out. I am bragging. Because what did I tell you if you watched the show? I told you they are inside the White House. I have no information other than knowing what they do. I told you the little white guys and gals that, that mom and dad had enough money to get them into certain positions to where they're in there in the White House and they're wearing their little ties this morning and white press shirts and they're running in there and they're 24 and 25 and they have all of this wisdom that they're sharing with the president, and some 25-year-old kid with a white press shirt and a tie and a blue jacket came in and said, Mr. President, we need to look at our moderates. We need to look at suburban white women voters. We need to look at independents and what we're going to gain there with gun legislation. I told you all of that. They're counting votes inside. I told you a weak economy would hurt him with independence. I told you that last week. Don't say that again, BKP. Don't say I told you so. I'm sorry. Okay? But for all of you out there, I'm going to throw it out there for all of you that feel that President Donald J. Trump is a lock in 2020, the goal of the show is to come and show you daily the forces against him, the forces of evil against him, whether you laugh at that or not. They're out there, and they're determined, and they're going to work overtime this time to make sure he is not president for 4 more years. They will. So every time you say, well, there's the Pocahontas, Joe Biden, every single time. Guess what, folks? I'll tell you now. The American people elected Barack Hussein Obama twice. There you go. So here is the other one. I got to get past this. Okay. Number 38. I don't see a recession here again. Number 38, for the government not to be doing something to get ready for that scenario. And then we have... let's see. Let me see what else I have. And we're going to go into gun legislation. All right. And let's end with this and we'll go to break. We'll come back with videos. Number 45. Trump. There you go. 45. I'm sorry. These are the 2 gatekeepers of hell. I know you don't like when I say that. I don't care. These are the 2 people you do not want to meet in the afterlife. If you meet you can't be the judge. The Bible says you cannot pass judgment. Well, if you're going to kill babies and talk about it, if you're going to support Ralph Northam, the Virginia governor that says once they're born, we'll keep a comfortable and then cut them up if mom says you didn't like that. But that's what would happen, okay? But if you're on here defending that, defending murderers, I call them, these 2 are on the slippy slide straight into hell. And I'm going to tell you, you close your eyes and you take your last breath and then you meet these 2 gatekeepers, you've gone to the wrong place. I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to play video when we come back. We're going to play some video from Sunday and the press conference of the president, and we will discuss gun legislation. I'm your host, BKP. Take us to break, Josh.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella-J next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella-J next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ella-J, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
The summer truck event is here at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. So come get a payload of savings on Georgia's favorite trucks, like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or more than $6,000 off Colorado crew cabs. Every Chevy truck and SUV is discounted for this special event. Don't miss out. The summer truck event at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ella-J, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. Had to go in and get a cup of coffee. Josh, let's put up on the screen how everybody can contact the show at any time, whether it's text message, you want to be on the show, you disagree with me, you agree with me, you probably agree with me. I don't know. Anyhow, there's the social media way and everything. Now, I got a text. I didn't go and look, but I got a text from the Cub fan, all right? So we're going to go with it as accurate. Yes, I do know it's accurate. All future indicators are up, up, up. What will they do? Well, there was those 2 hours. There was those 2 hours on Wednesday that the inverted yield curve. Now, let me just say this, okay? For what little I know about the inverted yield curve, you have a 2-year treasury and a 10-year. So if I get this wrong, just email me and talk crap to me, it's not, I don't use the correct terms. So the 2-year obviously is not as risky. You buy it 2 years, you get it out, boom, it doesn't pay as much. But if you say I'm going to buy the 10-year because I'm willing to take a 10-year chance, I'm willing to take the risk, that bond is supposed to pay more than the 2-year, okay? So supposedly Wednesday we'll make it simple. We'll make it inverted yield curve for dummies, okay? I'm in there. I'm in there. Don't get upset. So for a short period of time on Wednesday, whatever that may be, and Jake Tapper will admit that himself in just a minute, it inverted. Why, they were paying more for the 2-year than the 10. And we have people waiting to announce that as recession fears. So let's start. I don't know where I'm going to break on this, Josh. It is a wait a minute. I lost my train of thought. It is an 11-minute video. We're not going to play all 11 minutes, but Josh, let's go to the Jake Tapper, Pete Navarro video that we have there. Let's go there, okay?
Let me start with the economy, obviously the basic state of the economy, in addition to the inverted yield curve, which has happened before every recession in the last half century. I know it is now since flattened, but it did exist there for a little bit on Wednesday. 9 major countries are either in recession or on the brink of one, perhaps even a bigger concern than the inverted yield curve. Other than pushing the Fed to lower interest rates, what is the administration doing to stave off any potential recession from coming here?
So let's clear up this inverted yield curve thing. I didn't write the book on it, but I've written several books about the yield curve as a leading economic indicator. Technically, we did not have a yield curve inversion. An inverted yield curve requires a big spread between the short and the long end.
As opposed to a smaller one.
Correct. Well, all we've had is a flat yield curve.
Well, it was inverted for a little bit.
That's not technically an inversion. It's a flat curve, which is a very weak signal of any possibility. And in this case, the flat curve is actually the result of a very strong Trump economy. What we see now is foreign capital coming to the best game on the globe, which is the Trump economy. It's going into our stock market. But when it goes into the bond market on the long end, it bids up bond prices and bids down yields, and you get the flat curve. The best thing we need to do now, and I think this is part of the bullish scenario I have, the Federal Reserve is going to embark on a very aggressive interest rate cuts through the end of the year. That'll lower the short end, but more importantly, it'll stop suppressing our investment directly and suppressing our exports indirectly.
Let me ask you, what do you mean by suppressing? Because there's plenty, as you know, there is lots of liquidity. There's lots of money out there, $15 trillion being borrowed from Germany, from other countries in Europe, from Japan, where the interest rate is negative or 0%. And what I'm hearing from experts is the issue as to why this money is not being invested is because of instability, because of the trade war with China, and because of political instability in the U.S.
So here's what we know. Let's look at the Q2 numbers. We came in at 2.1%. When the Fed started raising rates, it raised it over 100 basis points. Broad consensus, too far.
All right, back. Hold that spot there on the video. Okay, let's back that up for that subject about 30 seconds, okay, right there. Okay, so quickly, Pete Navarro, okay, he doesn't say this, I'm going to say it. He looks at Jake Tapper and says, look, I'm going to explain this to you, you idiot. I'm sorry, bad word. My mom would get upset if she heard me calling somebody an idiot. But look, idiot, I'm going to explain this. I've written a book or two about this, okay? You're pretending like you know what an inverted yield curve is. So first of all, officially, there was no inverted yield curve. No, it was not. It was flat for a little bit, a couple hours on Wednesday. Jake Tapper, but for that short period of time, it was inverted, like 2 hours. No, it was not. No, it was not. You're just wanting your viewers to believe. Now, somewhere in all of this, they're begging somebody in the Trump administration to come out and admit they see the possibility of a recession. If they push, if they get one single bite of anybody, Pete Navarro, what's the other guy's name? We'll get to him in a minute. Anybody come out and just an ounce of possibility. That's why the New York Times has to write, okay, they suspect their internal sources, no names. No names in the Trump administration can they print. No names could they come out and put into the interview. None whatsoever. So if the administration would just bite a little bit. So Navarro schools Jake Tapper, and this is where I thought, hey, I could talk about it too. Okay, let's go back to, there was that couple minutes on Wednesday, it inverted. No, it didn't. It went flat. So let's quit lying to the American people. Go back to that interview. Let's go with this one.
And because of political instability in the U.S.
So here's what we know. Let's look at the Q2 numbers. We came in at 2.1%. When the Fed started raising rates, it raised it over 100 basis points. Broad consensus, too far, too fast. At the same time it was doing that, the dollar went up by almost 10%. So when you look at the Q2 data, 2.1%, we should have came in at 3. We lost 2/3 of a point simply on exports alone due to the indirect currency effect. And we lost some in commercial real estate because of the uncertainty over what the Fed policy was going to do. And we had an inventory drawdown, which will bounce back.
You don't think the trade war has anything to do with this? Let me just say, the Fed chair, when he lowered interest rates recently, said it was because of, quote, trade tensions, which do seem to be having a significant effect on the economy. You don't.
So
you're not acknowledging that the trade war has anything to do with this?
So the Federal Reserve Chairman should look in the mirror and say, I raised rates too far, too fast, and I cost this economy a full percentage point of growth. And interestingly, earlier this week, I was on television just before James Bullard, who's on the Board of Governors, and he basically is my best witness as to why we're going to have a very good economy. He said that the economy was strong. He also committed to interest rate reductions not because we have a weak economy, but because we can grow faster without generating inflation. That's the key thing here. What Jay Powell did not understand is that the Trump economy can grow at 3% without generating inflation, and that's what we should be doing. We also need help, not just from the Fed, we need help from Congress right now. The other thing that needs to fall into place for a really solid
is the trade deal, the USMCA.
U.S., Mexico, Canada agreement. And let me just say, that's at least a point of growth. There's several 100,000 new jobs, 75,000 in the auto sector. And we think by early October, if Congress can rise above partisan politics, past that, we'll have Federal Reserve rate cuts. And the last thing is, that's going to be really important, the European Central Bank has committed now to a very aggressive monetary easing that they're going to begin in September, cutting rates, quantitative easing. Why does that matter for us? That'll lift Europe. They'll buy more of our exports, and that'll help everything. So I see a bullish scenario
here. That the trade deal, that the trade wars and the tariffs have anything to do with
that's correct. The tariffs.
Okay, folks. The USMC, United States, Mexico, Canada deal has a value of a point right there on GDP. Immediately, manufacturing jobs would come back to the United States. Auto worker jobs would come back. So Congress has their part in this and trying to make sure that in Michigan, don't you think it's evil, despicable that they find the American people as disposable voters in Michigan, Ohio, wherever auto manufacturing plants are, so they could go out and campaign and say he did not bring back the jobs as promised in Michigan? President Trump stood on this stage right here in Michigan and said he would bring your jobs back. Guess what? It's sitting in Congress, the USMC. You pass the USMC, it is in there. We don't have time. You'll do the research. It is in there that you have to have more American manufacturing jobs for auto manufacturers here in the United States, so on and so forth. Plus, okay, the Federal Reserve working with Congress to slow the government down. We can have, Peter Navarro says we can have 3% GDP with no inflation with the USMC. Tapper's way, way out of his pay grade to even sit with that man. I should get a chance. All right, let's go back to that video, play some more. Okay, now wait a minute, before you do, Josh, before you do. All right, the reason I picked this one, Navarro was on so many other channels, but this one here is where he's trying and begging him to say something about the trade war, okay, the recession. Navarro, I think this is his best interview. It's called Understanding Tariffs, the Inverted Yield Curve. There is no recession for dummies. So let's go, and that includes Jake, that's for Jake Tapper, for the dummy on the counter. Let's go back and go to more of this interview.
The tariffs are hurting China. China's bearing the entire burden of the tariffs.
That's not
in terms of consumer. Hang on.
What a lot of experts say.
This is what this expert says. What we see here unequivocally is that China is bearing the burden by lowering their prices.
Right.
They lowered the value of the yuan by 12% to offset the tariffs. And here's the most important part of the pain on them rather than pain on us. We're seeing production, investment, supply chain, sourcing move.
But Peter,
it's hemorrhaging from China. And the good news is it's going into Southeast Asia and it's coming here.
Listen to the president of the Minnesota Farmers Union, Gary Werdish, who told CNN this week that even the president's supporters are being hurt and struggling in this trade war, even with the money that the administration is giving them to help them through this tough passage. Take a listen.
Words and Twitters and tweets that doesn't pay the farmers' bills. That doesn't solve the problem we're dealing with. And you know, this one, like I said earlier, this one's self-inflicted by our president, and we definitely agreed with him at the beginning. But it doesn't appear that there's a plan B.
These are people on the front lines, and they're saying the trade war is directly hurting them, and China is not bearing all the burden of this. They are bearing the burden of this.
So there's a couple of things to say here. First of all, this president has the backs of farmers, and all the money we're taking in our tariffs, a lot of that is going right to the farmers to keep us whole. Let's make no mistake about it. China is targeting those farmers to buckle our knees. I think whenever we talk about the China issue, it's really important to just go over the 7 things we're fighting for. It's the cyber.
We can't go into all 7. I know there are 7. Let's just posit right now. Would you acknowledge
that there's 7 significant problems, including killing Americans with fentanyl and opioids, that this president is standing up to China? Would you acknowledge that Bill Clinton got China into the WTO and that George Bush, Joe Biden, and Barack Obama stood by while we lost 70,000 factories
I will acknowledge the fact
5 million manufacturing
that there is pretty much broad consensus in the United States that China is a bad actor.
And
Absolutely.
on Capitol Hill, and they are behind this president. The farmers are behind this president.
Farmers are starting to lose patience.
The pain.
The Iowa Soybean Association president, let me just read this to you. The Iowa Soybean Association president, Lindsey Grenier, says, quote, short-term stair-step subsidies, which is what the administration is offering these farmers, are a poor remedy for trade. She says your negotiations right now with China are all talk and no action. When are the farmers going to have this off their back?
Let's talk about the strategy here, because there's a very clear strategy. Going back to Mar-a-Lago in the spring of 2017, the president has always been willing to talk to the Chinese. But when the Chinese have failed to deliver, when they've reneged on their commitments, he's taken action. And if you look at the arc of the negotiations...
It's been a year and these guys are still suffering, these men and women.
If you look at the arc of the negotiations, 100 days after Mar-a-Lago, they didn't do anything, so we had a 301 investigation, signaling to China, do things. We had to add tariffs when they failed to do things. Then we went to Buenos Aires, they made us more promises. We went to Osaka, they made us more promises. Here's the thing. We've talked with the Chinese for decades about changing their ways.
Right.
They are not going to change their ways unless the president actually has action that backs that up.
But here's the thing. You and the administration keep on saying that the entire burden of these tariffs and this trade war is being borne by China.
And that is absolutely true.
A study from researcher at Harvard, the University of Chicago, the IMF, and the Federal Reserve Bank in Boston in May found that U.S. importers are shouldering about 95% of the price change from the tariffs, and China is shouldering only 5%.
See, that dog won't hunt. Let's do some math here, right? You put on 10% tariffs on $200 billion.
Are you saying that their research is wrong?
Hang on. Just do some math with me. $200 billion, we put on a 10% tariff, and China devalues their currency by 12%. Okay? Are consumers bearing anything on that? No. We have seen absolutely no evidence in the price data. That's not showing up in the consumer price index. China is slashing their prices.
These tariffs aren't hurting anybody in the United
They're
States.
They're not hurting anybody here.
Then why?
Okay? They're hurting China.
Then why did you call it when the president delayed these tariffs that were supposed to hit, that would have hit in Christmas? Why did you call it a Christmas present to the American people to delay those tariffs if that doesn't specifically suggest that the tariffs would have been borne by American consumers here?
Let me suggest the wisdom of that decision, because I was there when
you're saying that the tariffs are great and not imposing the tariffs are great.
Let me answer this.
Go ahead.
Okay? So I was in the Oval Office when we had executives come in, and they said, look, let's wait till December 15th, because we bought all of our stuff that's going to be on the shelves. And we did it in dollar-based contracts, which mean we don't have any ability to shift the burden to the Chinese. But what we're also doing, Mr. President, is we're moving our supply chain and manufacturing out of China as fast as we can. So the president made a wise decision with Bill.
Let's unpack some of that. We're moving our supply chain out as fast as we can, Mr. President. If you have 1 ounce of respect for any of the media, deep state, corporate, corrupt media, you know what? I don't know what to say to you. I told you in the first half hour of this show, the president got together. Well, I didn't say the quote that, but the president moved the tariffs, okay? on Christmas goods, because the Chi Coms, as Rush would say, don't give a rat's patootie if they crash Christmas for the American people. And the president is trying to safeguard Americans from any kind of paying anything more for Bobby's little Barbie. Now, I don't want to get into the whole gender thing. You know, maybe Bobby wants a Barbie, or Bobby wants a, peekaboo wet sissy doll. I don't know. I don't care, okay? But they will not. And this is, I'm going to leave it there. I can't do any more because I got to get it to the president. But Peter Navarro gives the best. You should go here and email this interview to all of your friends. You should, anytime your friends come up and say, this, that, this, the curve says this, that, email this to them. Find it and send it to them. Text it to them. Post it on your face. This, although he did so many interviews, this is the best one because the dumbass on the other side is so in love with China, all right? And never says a positive word or never says, Mr. Navarro, you are correct on that, okay? And they will not report that manufacturers and many business executives went to the president and said, look, we've already purchased the stuff that goes on the shelf, okay? The Barbie car, whatever. I keep saying Barbie, so I'm sorry if it's not coming from China. But we've already purchased the stuff we're putting on the shelf for Christmas, okay? We're looking at new vendors worldwide for the next, big shopping day for the kids. So hold off till we get everything done. And, the president has done an outstanding job. But a couple things on this. And China, and I can't explain it any better, their dollar up, our dollar is up, our rates are up, okay? So once you push the value of our dollar up and the rate up, okay, experts, that is what the experts say, okay? Jake Tapper looks at this man, and this guy does everything, but a couple times on here call him a dumb ass. He said, the experts say, and he says, this is what this expert says. Looks at him and says, expert, do you realize you're sitting with an expert? China devalues their currency by 12%. They're paying the burden. So when you go and get the crayons, you remember when you went to the store and you're buying your back to school supplies. We'll stay with the crayons, and your Chinese crayons were 90 cents and your American box of crayons $1. See, if we were paying the tariff, okay, and it was hurting the American consumer, what would happen is that tariff would get passed along if they did not devalue their currency, and you would have Chinese crayons at $1.03 and American crayons at $1. But the Chinese are doing everything they can to make sure you, the consumer, do not switch on their products. So they will do anything to crash anything on the value of their stuff, okay? So that you still go buy the box of crayons that are 90 cents from China. So don't believe the lie. China is targeting our farmers. Our farmers do not dislike Trump. Our farmers know, and America knows, we have to. Let's not forget China. Bill Clinton, I like what Peter Navarro said, Bill Clinton put China in the World Trade Organization, right? Remember that? Don't forget that one. That dog won't hunt. You cannot go against a guy that throws out that dog won't hunt as smooth as Peter Navarro did. And then he looks at Jake Tapper, and he doesn't say it, I do. And he says, you dumbass, let's do some math, okay? Best interview all weekend. I watched them all. Now let's flip to a short break. We're going to come back and we're going to do the president press conference and a couple more things. We got Stacey Abrams. We got gun laws we got to look at, or legislation. Josh, take us to a short break. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
The summer truck event is here at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. So come get a payload of savings on Georgia's favorite trucks, like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or more than $6,000 off Colorado crew cabs. Every Chevy truck and SUV is discounted for this special event. Don't miss out. The summer truck event at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. We're going to rush through some things, tell them how to get in touch with the show. Josh, first, let's go to, and I'm not going to have time. I wish I did have 3 hours a day, but I do not. I want to close out number 11, All right. You look at the two here, Omar and Tlaib wanted to go to Israel. Rashid Tlaib retweeted a cartoon, number 25, Josh. Rashid Tlaib, the more they try to silence us, our voices rise. The more they try to weaken us, the stronger we become. The more they try to discredit us, the truth prevails. So here is the truth. There's Netanyahu telling she can't come in. Trump telling the other one. The truth is, please go read. It was all a lie. It was all made up. She was not going to visit her grandmother. If she was, then go to the Israel. Just type in largest ever congressional delegation visits Israel. It'd show a bipartisan support. 41 Democrats, 31 Republicans. Everything they say is a lie. House Minority Leader Steny Hoyer. Okay. The list goes on. The problem is the two in question did not go at the with this delegation just a couple of weeks ago, because what would have happened? They would not have been the big story of the day. So they didn't go because their intentions all along were to incite uprising among the Palestinians, and because of their hate for Israel. So we'll go with that. Let's close that one really quickly. Okay. Second, I have to be done at 9:50 because of Team FYN Sports Instant Replay 1010 on the Team FYN Sports Facebook channel. So I got to be done here in a couple minutes. Let me get the picture here. Stacey Abrams is taking her corrupt voter suppression, number 22, on the road. Number 22 there. The right to vote is our most fundamental right. Stacey Abrams, ABC News. Stacey Abrams, who captured national attention during her unsuccessful bid for Georgia governor in 2018, said she would be open to joining the 2020 ticket as a vice presidential nominee, but will continue to make the fight against voter suppression her foremost mission. My hope is that nationally you will find out that her Georgia voter suppression charade was all lies. Every bit of it was based on lies. There was no voter suppression in Georgia. Let me run past that one. Okay. So let me go here. That's not what I was looking for. All right, that's Stacey Abrams, voter suppression. And then let's see if I'm forgetting anything else here before I move on. Now, the polling numbers with Fox. So I want to go to Fox. Josh, let's go to the video, the one of the president. And let me get the time here. Fox News, because most of you are at the independents, right? Fox is doing their job. I'm sorry. You better pay attention to Tucker Carlson and how Chris Wallace, and what's his name? The gay guy. I'm sorry. Shepard Smith are doing everything to fight Fox to stop, Tucker Carlson. But anyhow, let's go to that video and let's hit Fox News polls. That's 1944, Josh. Let's hit that really quick for the president.
Well, Fox has always given me, I'll tell you, Fox is a lot different than it used to be, I can tell you that. Juan Williams, then they have the wonderful woman that gave Hillary Clinton the questions. That was a terrible thing. And all of a sudden she's working for Fox. What's she doing working for Fox? Fox has changed. And my worst polls have always been from Fox. There's something going on at Fox, I'll tell you right now. And I'm not happy with it. I don't know what's happening with Fox, but when they have like a Juan Williams who's never said a positive thing, and yet when I show up at the Fox building, he's out there, oh, sir, could I have a picture with you? Could I have a picture? And he was 100% nice. I mean, you've never asked me for a picture. No, they have to run it the way they want to run it. But Fox is different. There's no question about it. And I think they're making a big mistake because Fox was treated very badly by the Democrats. Very, very badly, having to do with the debates and other things. And I think Fox is making a big mistake because, you know, I'm the one that calls the shots on the really big debates. I guess we're probably planning on 3 of them. And I'm not happy with Fox. I'm certainly happy. I think Sean Hannity and Lou Dobbs, and I think Tucker Carlson and Laura and Jesse Waters and Janine. We have a lot of great people. Even Greg Gutfeld, he wasn't good to me 2 years ago. Now he sees all I've done. He said, would you rather have a great president or a nice guy? I don't know. I think I'm a nice guy.
All right. I think I'm a nice guy. How about that, President? Mr. President, Fox News. And let me tell you, because I will say this, and I'm close to having to close, but I will tell you this, okay? They try everything they can, all right? MSNBC, CNN, they do every possible thing they can not to use Fox News, video, anything for Fox News. There's some reason, if you're watching, because you're not, if you're watching MSNBC, if you're watching CNN and the others, they are clipping Fox News all the time now. Chris Wallace. Joe Scarborough uses Chris Wallace all the time as a reference. Shepard Smith in the afternoon. Minka Brzezinski. Fox's only non-biased reporter. Polling data, pictures, interviews. They blast them all the time, and they hate them. So what's up? I keep telling you, watch Fox. Let's go to number 39. Here's the Fox poll. Number 39, it comes from Fox. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, everybody beats Trump. Why? Trump can't get off that 39. That's according to Fox, right? So let's look at, let me see what else I have. That was MSNBC using it. I think I have CNN grabbing it. Okay. Not going to have time for much more, but I will get to this one here if I have it. So, but Fox poll, and I'll leave it at that because I think here it is. Okay. Here's Face the Nation. You can't see it. Number 10, Josh. We'll just go with this. This is CBS. They're all using it. Okay. Now you can't see in the top left because it's very light. But it says source, Fox News poll. Okay? Biden, Trump. They ran it on Face the Nation yesterday. I mean, they are running this poll everywhere from Fox. Okay? Everywhere. So, hey, what's up with Fox? I'm telling you, they have independents. They have independent viewers. And I watched yesterday afternoon. They are helping all they can to discuss recession. Now, at night, you do have Sean Hannity and so on and so forth. Let me give you number 23 with Fox, and you do your own research because we're running out of time. Here is Chris Wallace, number 23. Chris Wallace, Tucker Carlson, I don't know why I got him with his eyes closed, at Shepard Smith. There is a major push to get rid of Tucker Carlson at Fox. You need to pay attention to that. Major push to get rid of the guy. So let's go back to video. I'm going to do one more, okay? I'm going to do 2 more, Josh, because I know we have to go and we got 5 minutes. So here's what I'm going to give you that I want. I'll find it here somewhere. Josh, we're going to do 1401 background checks, and before you do, and then we're going to go from 1401 background checks. When I wave and tell you to stop, then go to 3330 background checks, and we'll leave it there for the day, okay? You got them? So go with that as soon as you have it ready.
They've got to do something, so let's see what happens. So Congress is working on that. They have bipartisan committees working on background checks and various other things, and we'll see. I don't want people to forget that this is a mental health problem. I don't want them to forget that, because it is. It's a mental health problem. And as I say, and I said the other night in New Hampshire, we had an incredible evening. I said, It's the people that pull the trigger. It's not the gun that pulls the trigger. So we have a very, very big mental health problem, and Congress is working on various things, and I'll be looking at it. We're very much involved. We're very much involved in looking at what they're studying. Well, we're going to look at a whole list of things, and I'll make a determination then. But I will say, Congress is now, as you know, meeting in a bipartisan way. We'll see what happens. A lot of things are happening on the gun level. A lot of things are happening. But you have to remember also, it's a big mental, I was talking about mental institutions. They closed so many, like 92% of the mental institutions around this country over the years for budgetary reasons. These are people that have to be in institutions for help. I'm not talking about as a form of a prison. I'm saying for help. And I think it's something we have to really look at, the whole concept of mental institutions. I remember growing up, we had mental institutions. Then they were closed in New York, I'm talking about. Many of them were closed. A lot of them were closed. And all of those people were put out on the streets. And I said, even as a young guy, I said, how does that work? That's not a good thing. And it's not a good thing. So I think the concept of mental institution has to be looked at. Unrelated to that, I believe that the concept also of voter identification has to be looked at. Because you can't have great security for the voter. People that vote, you can't have that national security unless you're going to have voter identification. It's something people have to look at very strongly. Jennifer? The which one? So Congress is looking at it very strongly, bipartisan. I put in certain parameters which you somewhat know about. I'm also very, very concerned with the Second Amendment, more so than most presidents would be. People don't realize we have very strong background checks right now. You go in to buy a gun, you have to sign up. There are a lot of background checks that have been approved over the years. So I'll have to see what it is. But Congress is meeting, bipartisan. A lot of people want to see something happen. But just remember this, big mental problem, and we do have a lot of background checks right now.
Okay, folks, that is yesterday in Morristown, New Jersey, as the president was boarding Marine One to head back to the White House. It is a great 36-minute press conference. You need to pay attention that the media is pushing his press conferences off the front page. They are pushing Peter Navarro. They are pushing these things off the networks. The president is not getting the coverage. That's why he tweets. If he tweets and he says Rashid Tlaib, they start blowing up coverage, and then you start looking up the president and you see different things. I've got to go. I've got 1 minute. Let me fly through here, Josh, and make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm going to grab some pictures really quick. Okay. I did not get a chance. Oh, by the way, go to number 7. MSNBC, Meet the Press, Chuck Todd gave number 7. Representative Mark Sanford, don't cry for me, Argentina, airtime to talk about how he doesn't like the president. And let me go to the other one here. Number 15, as Rush. I love Rush when he says the Chi Coms, number 15. Just a quick clarification. Hong Kong belongs to China. They will not accept freedom of speech. They will not accept our Second Amendment. They will not accept a free democratic society. You just need to get ready for what's about to happen. Let me go to this last pictures of the day. Number 21, Trump blames gun violence on mental health issues. Number 21 on ABC. Boom, boom, boom. I will get through here. Number 26 this morning at 4:07 a.m. NBC poll, support for possible gun legislation. 89% expand background checks. 89% of Americans do not realize all the background checks we have in place now. 76% support red flag laws. 76% of Americans do not understand what the effects of red flag laws would be on their freedoms. Voluntary gun buyback, 75%. They do not realize that they're going to take your own tax money and buy a gun back with your own money. Bull crap. And ban sale of assault weapons. They have no idea. 62% of Americans have no idea what they're talking about. Number 27, running the narrative. We have a lot of background checks already now. Appears to be backing off. Instead of saying Trump is telling the truth, we have a lot of background checks right now. He says appears to be back off push for gun checks. I'm going to get one more, Josh, that I wanted to get. There was one I remember I noticed earlier. I have it here somewhere. Number 42, Axios. White House and Congress say it's September or bust on gun legislation, so watch it. It's September or bust, said a source involved with discussions. We'll either have everything ready for when Congress returns, drop it on the floor, vote on it, and move on, or we blew it. Okay, so I'm your host, BKP. Right after these messages, flip over. Right after I go, flip over to FYN Team FYN Sports Facebook page and watch Lauren Hunter with Instant Replay. Great show. A lot of information, a lot of high school football scrimmages. It's time for me to hush so you can watch that show at 10:10. Josh, take us out of here. Thank you for being with us today.